Find a place where you can simply be, a place where your only responsibility for these next few moments is to exist exactly as you are. And as you settle into this space, you might notice the way the furniture supports you, the way the floor meets your feet or the chair cradles your back. And you can allow your eyes to close whenever it feels natural to do so. Or perhaps just soften your gaze on a single point in the room, noticing how the world around you begins to recede just a little. Bring your awareness to the simple, rhythmic miracle of your breath. You don't need to change it or force it into a specific shape. Just notice it. Notice the cool air as it enters your nostrils and the slightly warmer air as it leaves. And as you follow this breath, you might imagine that every inhale is an act of taking up space, a quiet expansion of your own presence, while every exhale is an invitation for the body to let go of any tension it no longer needs to carry. Take a slow, deep breath in now, feeling the ribs expand. And as you exhale fully, imagine any tightness in the shoulders just melting away, dripping down like warm honey toward the ground. You are someone who relaxes quickly, someone who knows the value of quiet. And so you might find that as I speak, your mind begins to settle like a pool of still water after a stone has been dropped into it, the ripples moving outward, becoming smaller and smaller, until the surface is smooth and clear. Permit your scalp to soften, letting that sense of ease flow down through the forehead, smoothing out the space between the brows. Let the jaw unclench, perhaps even letting the tongue rest away from the roof of the mouth. As your throat and neck release their hold, you might notice a gentle weightiness in your arms, from the shoulders down through the elbows, to the wrists and the very tips of your fingers. A sense of profound stillness that is actually a form of deep strength. And as this relaxation moves through the chest and the heart space, you might find a sense of grounding in your belly, feeling the rise and fall, the ebb and flow. Take another deep breath in, filling the lungs completely. And as you breathe out, feel that wave of comfort traveling down through the hips, the thighs, past the knees, all the way down to the soles of the feet. You are fully present here, in this body, in this moment. And as the surface world of noise and distraction fades into the background, you might imagine yourself standing at the top of a gentle, wide staircase, perhaps a staircase made of smooth, warm stone, or soft, weathered wood. There are only 5 steps down, and with each step, you will find yourself moving deeper into a state of calm authority, a place where your own voice is the clearest sound you hear. Taking the first step down. 5. A sense of coming home to yourself. 4. Stepping deeper into the quiet, feeling the air around you become soft and supportive. 3. Halfway there. Notice how the mind becomes still and receptive, like a garden at dusk. 2. Letting go of everyone else's gaze, moving inward to the place where you are truly seen by yourself. And 1. Arriving at the bottom, in a space of perfect safety, perfect clarity. In this quiet landscape of the inner mind, the colors are richer, the ground feels more solid, and you are not a shadow. You are the source of the light. You might notice how your presence here feels substantial. You have weight, you have texture, you have history. Breathe into that feeling of being solid, of being undeniably here. It is as if you are standing in a beautiful, private courtyard, a place that reflects the wisdom of everything you have lived through. The walls are strong, and the air is filled with the scent of something you've always loved, perhaps lavender or rain-dampened earth. Here, there is no one to perform for, no one to please, and no one to hide from. And as you stand in the center of this space, you might start to sense a quiet realization beginning to take shape, a realization about the difference between being looked at and truly being seen. You begin to notice a soft, low-hanging mist at the edges of this courtyard. And as you look toward it, You feel a gentle curiosity, a readiness to look at the stories you've been told about what it means to grow and change. You are ready to explore the truth of your own presence, moving toward the center of your own experience, where the old echoes of feeling invisible begin to meet a new, shimmering light. As you stand in this quiet center, you might notice how that mist at the edges seems to hold the weight of all the times you felt your silhouette fading into the background. It's a heavy, grey feeling, that sensation of walking through a crowded room and feeling like a ghost, or speaking and wondering if your words are simply dissipating into the air. Allow yourself to acknowledge that feeling without any judgment. It is a feeling that has been invited in by a world that often looks but rarely sees. Perhaps you've caught yourself shrinking, just a little, softening your voice or pulling your shoulders inward, almost as if you were trying to match the transparency you felt others were projecting onto you. But here, in this safe internal courtyard, the air is still and the support beneath your feet is absolute. You might notice a stone bench nearby, carved from a deep, ancient granite. And as you sit upon it, you feel its incredible strength, its permanence. This stone does not care if it is looked at. It does not seek the gaze of the passerby to know that it is solid. It simply exists in its fullness, rooted, heavy with its own history and undeniable presence. Let that feeling of isness begin to travel from the stone into your own body. You might start to realize that the feeling of being invisible was never a reflection of your fading light, but rather a shift in the world's ability to perceive your depth. You are not becoming less. In fact, as you sit here, you might feel the sheer volume of everything you have gathered. Every year a layer of rich, vibrant color. Every experience a thread of gold woven into the fabric of your being. If anything, you are becoming more complex, more resonant, more substantial. The world may be used to looking at surfaces, the thin, flickering light of the shallow shore, but you are moving into the deep water now, and the deep water has a power that the surface can never comprehend. Notice what happens when you decide that you no longer require the validation of a stranger's glance to prove you are there. It's a strange and beautiful freedom, isn't it? When you stop measuring your value by the attention you receive, you suddenly have all that energy back for yourself. You can use that energy to become visible to yourself first. Imagine for a moment seeing your own reflection in a pool of clear water at your feet, but you aren't looking for the smooth skin of a 20-year-old. You are looking for the light in the eyes, the set of a jaw that has weathered storms, the grace in the hands that have built, held, and let go. Look at yourself with the gaze of a dear, wise friend. See the authority there, the unapologetic space you occupy. You might feel a sudden, warm impulse to sit up a little taller, to let your breath expand your chest, not to impress anyone, but because your lungs deserve the space. Your heart deserves the room to beat strongly. You are investing in this body now, this vessel that has carried you through every season. You nourish it and strengthen it not to chase a fleeing past, but to command a vivid present. Feel the heat in your muscles, the sturdiness of your bones. You are taking up space, and it feels remarkably good. As you sit on this ancient stone, you might choose to let go of the habit of shrinking to make others comfortable. Imagine that old habit like a heavy, dusty cloak, and you simply let it slip off your shoulders. It hits the ground with a dull thud and begins to dissolve. Beneath it, you are wearing something that reflects your true internal landscape, colors that vibrate with your current wisdom. You are redefining beauty right here, in this moment. Beauty is no longer a fragile thing to be protected from time. It is the very fire that time has forged. It is the resonance of your voice when you speak your truth. It is the clarity of your boundaries. It is the way you move through the world with the quiet confidence of someone who no longer needs to ask permission to exist. You are a creator. Perhaps you have spent years creating space for others, but now The canvas is yours. What does it feel like to create a life where you are the primary witness, where your own "well done" is the only applause that truly matters? Breathe into that feeling of being self-sourced, invisible to those who are blind, but radiant to those who have the eyes to see, and most importantly, radiant to yourself. And as this realization settles deep into your marrow, you might notice a path opening up from this courtyard, leading toward the world you live in every day. But the light on this path is different now, as if you are carrying a lantern within your own chest. You are prepared to find your people, those who recognize the weight and the wonder of who you have become. And as you begin to walk, your steps are light but firm. You are ready to see how this new, internal visibility changes the way you meet the world. You are stepping into a future where the trigger of a neglected glance no longer has the power to dim your light. You are moving toward a moment that hasn't happened yet, curious to see how you will stand, how you will speak, and how beautifully you will take up the space that is rightfully yours. As you walk forward on this steady path, you might find yourself moving through time toward a specific moment in your near future. Perhaps it is a day next week, or even tomorrow. Notice where you are. Maybe you are in a crowded room, a brightly lit store, or standing in a circle of people who are lost in their own conversations. Look around and see the colors and the shapes of this place. Hear the ambient hum of voices, the clatter of life moving all around you. And then, you feel that familiar sensation, that old trigger of being overlooked. Perhaps someone's eyes graze past you without stopping, or a conversation continues as if you haven't spoken in the past. This moment might have felt like a tightening in the chest, a quiet shrinking, a whisper in your mind that you are fading. But notice what happens now. Instead of shrinking, you feel the ground beneath your feet. You feel the strength in your legs, the solidity of your posture. You are not waiting to be noticed to know that you are there. You take a breath, deep and full, and you realize that your presence is not a request. It is a fact. See yourself in this moment, standing tall. Perhaps you choose to speak, and as you do, your voice comes from that deep, centered place in your belly. There is no hesitation. No need to apologize for the resonance of your thoughts. Or perhaps you choose to simply stand in your own quiet power, observing the world with the wise, clear eyes of someone who has seen much and gathered more. You watch this version of yourself. Notice how you are wearing your experience like a rich, woven tapestry. Every year has added a thread of resilience, a thread of humor, a thread of deep, abiding capability. You aren't trying to catch the eyes of others to find your reflection. You are your own mirror now. You see yourself clearly, and you like the person you see. In this future scene, notice how you move through the space. You aren't dodging or weaving to stay out of the way. You are moving with a calm, purposeful grace. If someone looks past you, you smile inwardly, because you know that their lack of vision has nothing to do with your density. You are solid. You are vibrant. You may even find yourself reaching out to someone else who looks like they feel sidelined, because you are no longer competing for the light. You are a source of light. You find yourself gravitating toward those who see on a deeper level, your people, those who value the depth of a well-lived life. See yourself laughing with them. Hear the sound of your own voice, uninhibited and authentic. You are taking up space, and it feels so natural. It feels like coming home to yourself. Notice the feeling in your body as you inhabit this stronger version of you. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your heart is open. You are investing in this strength, not to look like anyone else, but to feel the engine of your own vitality humming within. You are becoming more. Every day you are adding to the masterpiece of your life. You might see yourself later that day, perhaps arriving home or sitting in a quiet moment, reflecting on how effortless it felt to remain visible to yourself, even when the world was busy, even when the lights were elsewhere. You were there, whole, complete, and beautifully present. Let this feeling of inner visibility saturate every cell, like a warm color filling a glass. From the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, you are letting go of the old measuring sticks, the ones that counted glances and measured your worth by the attention of others. You are picking up a new way of measuring, based on the depth of your peace, the strength of your hands, and the clarity of your own gaze. You are enough, exactly as you are, moving through time with power and purpose, taking this feeling of rooted, unshakable presence with you. Knowing it belongs to you, it is yours to keep. As this vision of your future self begins to merge with your present self, you feel a quiet, steady confidence beginning to take root even deeper, turning these new ways of being into natural, easy responses, allowing these truths to settle into the very foundation of your mind. Because it is safe to be seen, and it is even safer to be the one who sees yourself first. You are noticing how these intentions are no longer just ideas. They are becoming the very way you breathe, the way you walk, and the way you greet each new day with your head held high. And as you hold this sense of self-respect and self-visibility, you can begin to listen to the soft, affirming whispers of your own inner wisdom, hearing the truths that will guide you as you carry this strength back with you. As you sit with this deepening sense of presence, you might notice how the air around you seems to vibrate with a different kind of energy. It is the energy of a person who no longer waits for permission to exist, no longer waits for a glance from a stranger to feel valid, or a nod from the world to feel significant. You are standing in the center of your own life, and the view from here is expansive. Think of these new realizations as seeds that have already taken root in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. They don't need to be forced. They simply need you to continue being you. To help lock this transformation into your daily reality, allow yourself to hear these affirmations not as something new, but as a remembering of what has always been true about your soul. You might say to yourself, I am visible to myself, and that is my greatest power. You might feel the weight of these words. My value is inherent, and it is not measured by the attention of others. Perhaps you notice a spark of strength as you think, I am allowed to take up space, and I refuse to shrink for the comfort of the world. Allow this thought to settle deep within your heart. I am not becoming less, I am becoming more. And finally, it is safe to be strong. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to be me. Let these truths circulate through your bloodstream, moving into every cell, strengthening your bones, brightening your eyes, and steadying your hands. Every time you choose to invest in your health, every time you create something new, and every time you seek out those who truly see your light, you are reinforcing this beautiful new architecture of self. You are the architect, and the structure you are building is solid, enduring, and magnificent. In a few moments, I will begin to count from 1 to 5, and as I count, you will feel yourself gently, easily, returning to the room around you, bringing back with you every ounce of this newfound visibility, every drop of this inner strength. 1. Feeling the surface beneath you once again, feeling grounded, supported, and completely at home in your body. 2. Noticing the rhythm of your breath as it fills your lungs with fresh, invigorating air, sensing the gentle movement of your chest and shoulders. 3. Becoming aware of the temperature of the room, the subtle sounds in the distance, feeling a sense of clarity washing over your mind like cool water. 4. Feeling a wonderful sense of vitality returning to your limbs, a light wiggle in your fingers and toes, knowing that you are carrying this deep sense of self-respect back into your waking life. And 5. Eyes open when you are ready, fully awake, fully present, and beautifully, unmistakably, visible. Carry this calm gently with you. Before we finish, I'd like to leave you with one thought. No two minds are exactly alike. Your experiences are unique. Your challenges are unique. Your goals are unique. So your sessions should be unique. At My Momentum, Every session is created specifically for you, shaped around your goals, your experiences, and the way your mind works. Visit mymomentumnow.com to create your own personalized session and discover what becomes possible when your mind is guided in a way that's uniquely yours.